We're just waiting for YouTube. We're live on YouTube. Choo. We're live on YouTube too. And it gives me very great pleasure to welcome you all to today's Science Saturday. Oh my goodness, I'm so excited about this one because we are going to be investigating bacteria and germs and how we can keep ourselves protected from them. Because 1 minute, Connie, go sit down for me, I'm not ready for you yet. Some bacteria can be harmful and can make us sick. And so it's really, really important that we keep our hands very, very clean. And today we are going to be finding out all about why that is. Now, just as any other day, if you would like me to say hello to your little one, drop a comment in the YouTube comments, all the Instagram comments. Bella will write those ones down and then I'll say a big hello towards the end when we start our singing. And if you're on YouTube, I can see the comments straight away. So let's start this morning with our wonderful welcoming hands. Are you ready, everybody? Let's welcome everybody. Here we go. Hello, everybody. It's time for us to sing. Hello, everybody. It's time for us to sing. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Time for us to sing. Well done, everybody. And if I have a science experiment created for you all and my science sheets already up, then that can mean only one thing. It's Science Saturday. So I've got my Saturday sticker. I'm going to pop that up on the wall behind me. And today we're going to be looking for a science superstar. So I'm going to be looking for children who use their senses to explore all of the scientific things that we're looking at today. I'm looking for children who are really, really curious and interested and focused on what we're doing and who can chat about the types of things we've learned today. So before we get started, let's sing our Days of the Week song. So remember that today is Saturday. Here we go. Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday too. Every day's a happy day, every day's a magic day. Each day's a different day and every day is new. So today is Saturday, which means that yesterday was Friday and tomorrow will be Sunday when I'll be reading you stories and singing you songs live from the Mummy Tribe Instagram page, possibly YouTube as well. It just depends on where we are in the world because we could be anywhere. On Sunday now, I try and read you stories from different places to make things even more exciting. Right then, I think that we need to get started straight away with our science experiment. So we will do some singing a little bit later on, but we've got a lot of science to do today. Now, I've gotten ready my 2 science sheets, which can be downloaded from my website, enchantednanny.com/shop. They're going to be really, really useful, especially this one, because this experiment is something that we're going to be looking at throughout the entire week. And so you're definitely going to need this one, but it comes with this one too for the experiment that we're about to do just now. So for our first experiment, we're going to be looking at the way that germs and bacteria behave on our hands and then what happens to them when they interact with soap. So for today, we're going to need some milk, which is nicely stuck to my table. And we're also going to need some soap. Now, if you don't have milk or you have a milk allergy, don't worry, it works just as well with water. But the lovely thing about milk is because it's white, you can see more clearly what happens to the pepper when we add the salt. Yes, Connie? I'm not ready for you just yet, but I will call you up when I am. She's desperate to do some science, but I need her for an extra special bit. Okay, so the first thing we're going to do is we're going to take a bowl or a plate. I'm using a plate today because it's much easier then for you to see what happens. And Bella, I'd like you to double check that you can see the whole surface of the plate. Yeah. Can you see it? Brilliant. So the next thing I'm going to do is very carefully pour some milk, or you can use water, onto my plate, or you can use a bowl. So pouring it very gently. And I might need some more Let's see, hopefully we'll have just enough. I want to make sure that the milk covers the whole surface of my plate. I am going to need a little bit more. Bella, would you do something for me? Just pour some more milk into that for me. Thank you so much. So the milk, or if you're using water, is behaving just like the surface area of our hands. So we're imagining today that the milk is the palm of our hand, okay? So that's what we're pretending. The milk is like our hand. Now, at the moment, the milk is lovely and clean, just like maybe after you've had a bath or washed your hands. So this is what we're imagining. The milk is just like the surface of our hands. So I'm going to pour a little bit more in, just to make sure that we've got a nice, smooth surface. Is that all the milk we've got, Bella?
Oh, no, we've got more.
Actually, that should be fine. Perfect. So we've got a lovely, smooth surface area. Now, throughout the day, from the moment after you've cleaned your hands, we're going to add the pepper for this part. So the pepper is going to act as dirt, germs, and bacteria. And throughout the day, as we touch things, our hands get lots and lots of germs and bacteria on them. It's perfectly normal and it happens to everybody. There's bacteria on pretty much everything. And so, of course, it gets all over our hands. It's just a thing. And it's not too frightening because we always make sure that we wash our hands, especially before we put our hands in our mouth, like when we eat or when we make food, just like when we're cooking together. So the pepper that I'm grinding all over the milk acts just like the bacteria that gets stuck all over our hands all throughout the day. And if I stick my finger into the milk, you can see that that bacteria gets stuck on my hands, just like that. I get stuck with all those dirty germs and bacteria. Now, when we use soap to wash our hands, the bacteria doesn't like it at all. The bacteria is frightened. The germs are frightened by the soap. The soap almost acts as kind of like a magic thing that banishes all of that bacteria away. It doesn't like it at all. So watch what happens when we put soap on our hands. Give them a good wash. So I'm going to take a blob of soap. So this is just washing up liquid, or you could even use antibacterial soap. I'm going to get a nice big bit of soap on my finger. Can you see it? There we go. My finger's covered in soap now. And I wonder if you can think about or even make a prediction about what's going to happen when I dip my finger in the germs and bacteria. What do you think is going to happen? Do you think that nothing is going to happen? Do you think that maybe the pepper or the germs will get stuck to my finger? Or do you think that the soap will banish the bacteria and the germs? Let's have a look and see what happens. Here we go. And look, the soap makes lots of that bacteria go away. They fly away and they float off because they want to be away from it. Now, some of my pepper was a little bit heavy. So we could try that again, actually, Daddy, with a bowl. And if we've got any milk, we could put some more in because it might just show that a little bit better. I've used a plate, but it's not worked exactly well. But have you seen that all of the germs have tried ever so hard to be as far away from the soap as possible? So we're going to use a deeper bowl. And I'd like to know if you have done this with a bowl, what happened to your pepper? So, Bella, how careful can you be with taking this plate of milk away? It's going to try its very best to escape. We've got to keep it really still. It might spill. There you go. So just tip it. Just be very careful. There you go. Perfect. And we're swapping it in now for a bowl. And what we might do is move the camera so that you can see it even more clearly. Bella's being as slow as she possibly can. There we go. So, how have you done? Have you done well with this? Have you seen what happened to the germs once you dipped your finger in the bowl? Connie, no, thank you. Here we go. So this time I'm going to use a bowl of milk. just like that. And what we're going to do is we're going to pick the camera up for Instagram, and hopefully you can all see as well on YouTube. Lovely. So once again, the milk is acting as the surface area of our hands, and our hands get dirty throughout the day. And so that's why we put the pepper in. The pepper for today is pretending to be all of the germs and bacteria that get onto our hands. And what we're going to do is we're going to have a look again at how those germs behave when we place some soap near to them. Are you ready? Here we go. Oh my goodness me. They've all gone. They have tried their best to get as far away as possible because they don't like the soap. And that's why we use soap when we wash our hands, because it helps the germs to slide off of our hands. So I'm going to wipe that off just like that. Thank you so much for getting that for me. And Bella, if you could take this milk. Oh, thank you, Steve. Wonderful. I've got lots of helpers today. So now we've had a look at what happens when we add soap to bacteria, or when we use soap to wash the bacteria off of our hands. We're going to do our big experiment today. So if you've got one of the sheets, you can draw a picture of what happened as well in the experiment. So we had a bowl or a circle, and we put lots and lots of dots, but when we added the big blob of soap, all of those dots ran away, didn't they? Now you can draw this experiment or even write it up however you like. So let's move on to the next experiment. Now this one is going to take a little bit of time and a little bit of patience, because it's going to mean some waiting, but it's an absolutely brilliant experiment. Now, on your sheet, you'll notice that I've asked you to get 2 Ziploc bags ready. But for today, I'm going to use 3 because I want to also use a control experiment. And I'll explain what that is in a moment. And if you'd like to go and get another bag, then you absolutely can. Okay, so Connie, I'm going to welcome you into today's experiment. So I'm going to take this one down. We don't need this one anymore. We're moving straight on to this one today. Okay, so today what we're going to be doing, Connie, is actually we're going to be exploring how dirty your hands are right now. You haven't washed them yet, have you? And you've been up and about. We haven't left the house. We've just been playing with our toys and running around and getting dressed. So what we want to see, Connie, is how much bacteria is on your hands. Now, germs and bacteria are invisible. You can't see them, so it's difficult to know that they're there, but they definitely are. And I'm going to show you an experiment that's going to help you see just how much bacteria is all over your hands. Okay, so what you'll need for this experiment is 2 or 3 Ziploc bags. Okay, 1, 2, 3. So I'm going to start with one of the Ziploc bags. Let me make sure it's open, that there's nothing in it. I'm going to open it up very carefully. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to take a control. What that means is it's going to be a piece of bread, and I'm not going to make Connie rub dirty hands on it or clean hands on it. It's going to be the control. And we have a control in an experiment to make sure that nothing's gone wrong and to measure our findings against kind of like a base level, like a starting level. So a control is almost like a starter. So I'm going to take some tongs. I don't want to touch my bread because I need to make sure that I keep it very, very clean. I'm going to drop my piece of bread into the bag, making sure that I don't touch it and that no bacteria touches it at all. So there we go. That piece of bread has gone into there. I can put my tongs away now.
Yummy, yummy.
And I'm going to take a pen, a Sharpie or something permanent, and I'm going to write control on that bag. Control. So This is like my base level, my starter. This piece of bread hasn't been touched by anything, so I can measure my other bits of bread against this one. So I'm going to pop this just here. Okay, for the next piece of bread, and actually I will use my tongs again for this.
Ooh, I like tongs.
For the next piece of bread, Connie, you can decide. You can either rub your hands all over it, or you can just do one great big squishy handprint.
One great squishy hand.
You'd like to do a squishy handprint. Okay, well what I'm going to do then is I'm going to put the bread here, and what I want you to do is put your hand on the piece of bread. Okay, so let's take that piece of bread. I'm going to pop it there because I know that these Ziploc bags are nice and clean. Right then, could you give me your hand, please? What we're going to do is we're going to smush Connie's hand right into the bread. And I want you to really rub it around. Rub, 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 rub. Really rub it. Now do almost a little bit. I'll hold the bread still. I want you to get a little bit of rubbing on there. Slide your hand all the way down that bread. Slide it, slide it, slide it. Rub it, rub it, rub it. Get all of your hand bacteria all over that bread. And you'll see a little handprint actually where your fingers have been. But we want to make sure that all of Connie's bacteria is transferred over to the bread. Okay, you done? Okay, 1 second. Oh, careful. That's not how we do science. When we do science, we have to be careful. So that's okay. So Connie's got a little bit of the bread on her. That's fine. So you can't do that with the next bit of bread, Connie, because the next bit of bread has to stay clean. So I'm going to take that dirty bit of bread that Connie has rubbed her dirty hand all over. And I'm going to pop it into the Ziploc bag. And you can even see a little handprint in it, can't you?
Nice. I see my hand.
There we go. I'm going to write dirty on that one. D-E. Okay, so this piece of bread has got Connie's handprint on it. And as you can imagine, it's dirty. She's not washed her hand. So that's that one just there. Let's put it with the other one. Now, Connie, I want you to go into the kitchen with Bella. And I want you to use 2 squirts of this. I want you to give your hands the best scrub ever. And then I want you to rinse them thoroughly with warm water. I want you to come back into the experiment with your hands up, and I don't want you to touch a single thing. Bella will even touch the taps. Okay, so we're going to make sure we give them a good scrub. There we go. And I'll get a little bit of bread ready for you. Let's go for this one here. Take that bread out. We'll pop it down just there. Give them a really good scrub, Connie. Let's put the bread away. There we go. Okay, so if you're following exactly along with me, then you'll have a control. And then we've got a dirty piece of bread that Connie's rubbed with a hand that hasn't been washed. She's just washing her hands now, giving them a really good scrub. Bella is making sure that she's scrubbing them. And now it's time for you to scrub your hands as well. So if you have your bowl of water and your soap, you can do it right there, just making sure that we wash our hands like this, that we get into those knuckles like this, that we get the thumbs like this, and under the nails, doing lots and lots of this. And giving them a really, really, really good scrub. And then we rinse off all of that soap and all of those germs with warm water. And then she's going to come in with her hands. Are they still wet?
Yes.
So keep them held up, give them a wring out. You can't touch a towel because towels actually have bacteria and germs in them too. So that would ruin the experiment. Hold your hands up. And if you can, we're just going to let them dry. So while we let them dry, we'll sing Twinkle Twinkle. And that will let those hands dry without you all having to touch a towel. You ready? Here we go. Twinkle, twinkle, little star. You're supposed to be drying your hands. How I wonder what you are. Up above the world so high, like a diamond in the sky. Twinkle, twinkle, little star, how I wonder what you are. Trying very hard not to touch this one because I have not washed my hands. Well, I have, but not recently. Which hand did you use for the experiment? Your right hand? Okay, so just like before, I want you to squash your hand into that bread. Go for it. Push it all the way down. Great job. Give it a good rub. Now, your hand's still a little bit wet. I'm hoping that doesn't ruin the experiment. It shouldn't do because you're lovely and clean. There we go.
My thumb's sticking out. And it's stuck.
Oh, I can't touch it. Let's do another bit of bread. Okay, and we'll use your other hand.
Great.
We ruined that. We've got to make sure when we're doing science that we are precise and very careful. Hold that hand up. Just make sure it doesn't touch anything. We'll do another piece of bread. Because I touched it. We need our findings to be absolutely accurate. So there's our bit of bread. Don't do it yet. Is your hand completely dry, Connie?
Yep.
Don't touch it. Okay, here we go. Perfect. Right, so press all the way down as deep as you can. I'm not going to help you this time. Press all those fingers down as firmly as you can. Give them a good little kind of shaky, rubby. Perfect. Okay, now let go. Careful. There we go. So I'm now going to put that one away into my Ziploc bag.
Don't ruin it this time.
I'm trying really hard. I won't. I'm not touching it.
I need to wipe that all up.
You can go wash your hands again if you want to. There we go. Okay, so my clean bread has now gone into its Ziploc bag, just like that. And now I'm going to write the word clean as a label so that I remember which bag has which. Okay, so there are my 3 bags. Now, the main ones that we're looking at are our dirty and clean. The control is just there so that we can measure our findings against bread that just hasn't been touched. So what we're going to now do is we're going to use our science sheet to begin to say exactly what our bread looks like. So we're going to start measuring our bread and measuring its appearance, what it looks like. So here we have day 1, and I'm looking at my dirty bread, and it has nothing on it, no trace of any germs, any bacteria, or any mold.
It does.
So no, there's no mold on it.
I'll put my hand on it.
But well, yes, but there's no mold on it yet that we can see, is there? We know there's bacteria on it from your hands, but there's nothing that we can see yet. Nothing's happened to the bread. So there's nothing there, so I'm not going to write anything. And on our clean bread, well, there's nothing there either. So for day 1, I have nothing to report. I can't see any mold or any signs of any bacteria growing on either slice of bread. So I'm going to just not write anything, but I'm going to do a little tick to show that we've observed or looked at. So can you say that with me? Observed. Can you say it?
Observed.
Can you say it? Observed. It means we've looked at something to check it. And when we observe our bread to see if anything's growing on it, we can then draw it on the bread where the mold might be. So it might grow in the shape of a handprint. Who knows? I'm very excited about this. So I would like you to put your bags, you can hang them up somewhere. You can put them on a shelf. You can put them anywhere you like. They're in there now. And what you're going to do is spend the week watching to see the differences in the dirty piece of bread and the clean piece of bread. Connie, can you go and sit back down there for me now? Thank you so much for your help. You were wonderful, a brilliant scientist. So this is one of those experiments that takes a little bit of time, but I promise you, by the time you see me again next week, these 2 pieces of bread are going to look very different from each other and very different from our control piece of bread too. So I will be looking to see you back again next Saturday with your worksheet. I want to see the observations that you've made, and we're going to talk about why they've happened. Connie, I'd like you to stop now. Thank you. Okay, so that's our dirty hands experiment. Now, what I'd like you to do now is start to make a little prediction, and you can write it on the back of your sheet. I want you to predict what's going to happen to the dirty piece of bread and what's going to happen to the clean piece of bread. And if you can, I'd like you to say why. Now, I predict that the dirty piece of bread is going to be covered in green mould because Connie hadn't washed her hands, and so they were covered in germs. So that's my prediction. And I predict that the clean hands piece of bread will still have maybe a little bit of mould on it, but definitely not as much as the dirty hands bit of bread. And with the control bread, I'm not sure that's going to have any mould on it at all. Maybe a little bit, because nothing's touched it. So we're going to have a look at the findings of our experiment next Saturday at 10 a.m. when we're all back together. And I absolutely can't wait. Do send me lots of pictures of your science experiments today. And if you have any of you using our brilliant science sheets, then do show me and I'll celebrate your hard work. Now, that's it for our science today. Shall we sing a few songs? And I need to say some big hellos today as well. So let's have a look at who we've got today. And I'm wondering whether you're all doing your science, because if you are, I'm going to be needing to look for some superstars, because I've got my superstar ready today for Saturday, and I've got a certificate printed out and ready to send. So grown-ups, do let me know if your little ones have been doing the best science ever today. My goodness, you're all so clever. And if you have any song requests at all. So over on YouTube, let's say a big hello to Poppy. Hi, Poppy. And Robin. Poppy and Robin, are you doing science today? I'd love to hear all about it. And Robin's Pepper shot to the outsides of the bowl away from the soap. Well, do you know what? Germs do not like soap, and so they do everything that they can to run away from them. That's why it's really, really important that we use soap when we wash our hands. It's not enough to just use water. The germs will still get stuck. You've got to use soap and get those germs all slippery so that they slide off of your hands. A big hello to Mohammed. How are you, Mohammed, today? Good morning. Bella, who is watching over on Instagram today? And do we have any song requests? Remember, if you're watching on YouTube, I can see your song requests too. So do let me know if there's anything that you'd like me to sing before we go today. Go on then, Bella. Let's have the notebook. Let's see who's there. Thank you ever so much. We have little Safi. Hello, Safi. How are you today? Big hello to you. Hello to Thea. Hello to Alexander and Zara. Hi, Alexander and Zara. And a big hello to Isla. Hello. How are you today? Right then. I've been thinking of a song that I'd like to sing because, do you know, tonight, hopefully, if the weather is good, there will be a live rocket launch into space. Some astronauts will be travelling all the way from the Earth, all the way up into space, and I couldn't be more excited. So I thought about maybe some space songs. So show me your zoomy rockets, and I've got my rocket that Bella made for me. And let's sing Zoom, Zoom, Zoom. Here we go. Zoom, 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 we're going to the moon. Zoom, 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 we're going to the moon. If you want to take the trip, step into my rocket ship. Zoom, 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 we're going to the moon. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, blast off! All the way to space. And while we're talking about space, there's another song I love to sing to you. I wonder if you can remember what it is. It's the one that I always use my sparkly fabric for, to make a flying saucer. Let's count up our 5 little men. Give them a big wave. They're awfully shy. 1, 2, 3, 4 and 5. Give them that big wave for me. Oh, we're even bigger. This one's awfully shy. Big smiles and waves. And listen up, because one of these little men might be flying over your house. Oh my goodness me. 5 little men in a flying saucer flew round the world one day. They looked left and right, but they didn't like the sight, so one man flew away. Whoosh! All the way over Muhammad's house. Woohoo! Let's count how many we've got left. 1, 2, 3, 4. 4 little men in a flying saucer flew round the world one day. They looked left and right, but they didn't like the sight, so one man flew away. Whoosh! All the way over Safi's house. Whee! And now we have 1, 2, 3. 3 little men in a flying saucer flew round the world one day. They looked left and right, but they didn't like the sight, so one man flew away. Whoosh! All the way over Poppy and Robin's house today. Whee! And now we have 1, 2. 2 little men in a flying saucer flew round the world one day. They looked left and right, but they didn't like the sight, so one man flew away. Whoosh! All the way over Alexander and Zara's house. Whee! Can you hold? Oh, I've got it, haven't I? And now we have 1. 1 little man in a flying saucer flew round the world one day. He looked up and down and he did like the town, so he decided to stay. Hooray! And today he's going to visit Thea and then Isla. Now, we've had another song request. You Are My Sunshine. And you know what? That one is actually a song all about space too, because the sun is in the middle of our solar system. So let's sing You Are My Sunshine. Here we go. You are my sunshine, my only sunshine. You make me happy when skies are grey. You'll never know, dear, how much I love you. So don't take my sunshine away. And speaking of space, do you know what I might do, Steve, is actually make some of the next science sessions all about space and learning about different things to do with it. What do you reckon?
Yeah.
I think that would be a good idea. We'll do some space-themed fun. So we've had one more request, and it's Miss Polly. So let's take our dolly and we'll sing Miss Polly for Muhammad. Here we go. Miss Polly had a dolly who was sick, sick, sick. So she rang for the doctor to be quick, quick, quick. The doctor arrived with his bag and his hat, and he knocked on the door with a rat-a-tat-tat. The doctor looked at Dolly and he shook his head, and he said, Miss Polly, put her straight to bed. He looked in his bag for a pill, pill, pill. I'll be back in the morning if the dolly's still ill. But do you know what? She was just fine. She just needed a little rest and some water. Right then. So let's finish with one more song. I think we'll sing Wind the Bobbin Up and we'll lead it into There's a Dinosaur. Show me those winding hands. Off we go. Wind the bobbin up, wind the bobbin up. Pull, pull, clap, clap, clap. Wind it back again, wind it back again. Pull, pull, clap, clap, clap. Point to the ceiling, point to the floor, point to the window, point to the door. Clap your hands together, 1, 2, 3. Put your hands upon your knees. There's a dinosaur, there's a dinosaur. Look, look, run, run, run. There's another one, there's another one. Look, look, run, run, run. Point to the ceiling, point to the floor, point to the window, point to the door. Clap your hands together, 1, 2, 3. Say, Mr. Dinosaur, you can't catch me. Well done, everybody. I can't wait to see you again tomorrow for story time at 10 a.m. with the Mummy Tribe. Do let me know how you get on with your science investigations today and over the course of the week. As soon as you start to see mold, I need you to send me a picture because I am really excited to see what findings you see. Now, if you don't already have a science sheet, then today we are selling these. You get both of them in the pack. It's 89p for the pack, and you'll get this, and this will see you through the whole week. It's a science investigation recording sheet, and it's really, really great to help your little ones learn to record the things that they see. And it's wonderful because you can start to make your own science folder to take into school with you when you go back. So these are available over on my website, enchantednanny.com/shop, and they're a brilliant, brilliant way to record what you see with your bread all the way over the week. I can't wait to see you again. Have a wonderful day. And while you're at the shop, you can check out some of our pirate activities and our seaside activities and our lovely nature scavenger hunts. I hope that they bring you lots of fun and that you have the most incredible day. Goodbye, everybody. Have a wonderful Saturday. Mwah.